Although I read 6 books last month, it was a struggle getting there. In addition to these 6 books, I picked up 8 other books that I started and stopped for various reasons. Hey friend, welcome. It's Michaela, but you can call me Mac. So starting 8 books is kind of wild to me. I don't think I've ever read this many books at one time and like not finished them. But for some reason or another, I just like picked some of these books up and put them down because I just like wasn't in the mood for it. I definitely am a mood reader, but here are the 8 books that I started last month, and here are the ones that I will probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, be able to continue by the end of the year, or some of the ones I'm just gonna like put off until like later on. So starting out, I'm doing a reread of Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and you would think that since this is a reread, I would be flying through this book, but no, I'm actually taking my time and I'm annotating a book for the very first time. I've never done this before, which is it was super nerve-wracking to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna write in a book for the first time. So Heartless is basically like a reimagined version of the villain origin story of the Queen of Hearts. It basically just talks about who she was, what were her dreams and her goals and her aspirations before she actually became the Queen of Hearts. It's been so much fun going through this and annotating it and highlighting things and making little notes. My heart is like so full and breaking at the same time. It's an entire journey, and I just love being able to mark down all the little things that I loved about this book. I'm about 75% of the way through this book, so this one will definitely be finished soon. Next up, I started reading A Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. This one follows 2 different crimes. One of them was when a baby was stolen out of a stroller, and then 20 years later a woman is killed, and somehow those crimes are linked. And so we're following a couple of different women's stories in this book. So far, each of the chapters is told by a different woman. I am on page 26. So I didn't get very far, as I'm not really sure what to know about this book. I know it was a thriller, and that's why I picked it up last month, because I thought it would be a great book to read in October. And also I picked up 2 of her other books earlier this year, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and Sometimes I Lie. I absolutely enjoyed those books, so when I saw this in the library, I snagged it. However, and this is no fault of the book at all, but every time I pick this book up to read, I start to fall asleep. And I think that's because I usually pick it up at night. So I think I'm gonna have to give this book a pass. At least it's gonna be a DNF for now. I definitely want to try reading this again, maybe in the new year, but I don't really have time for this book right now because there's so many other things that I want to get to. And plus, this book is like a special find since this is a new one at my library, so you can't put it on hold, you can't renew it, and it only has like a short time that you can check it out, and I'm pretty sure this book is maybe overdue, so I need to turn it back in. This one is going in the not right now pile, but maybe at a different date. Next up, I have Hotel Magnifique. This one I actually started reading in September, but it was giving October vibes, and so I put it down, picked it back up in October, read a couple of pages, and then completely stopped reading it after that. I am on page 34. So Hotel Magnifique is like this magical, enchanted hotel that disappears and travels to a new destination at the stroke of midnight every single night. So when it appears in this town where these 2 sisters live, they're trying to get jobs working at the hotel so they can like get away from their like kind of drab and dreary lives. And when they get the jobs at the hotel, they start to realize that the enchantments are probably not the like safest things. There's like dangerous hidden secrets, and I believe the story is just about them trying to stop the bad things from happening, I'm assuming. As I mentioned, I got to page 34. I do plan to try to finish this one by the end of the year because I have this entire like hotel spread in my reading journal, and I really want to be able to add this door to that spread. Yeah, so we'll see. It's not bad so far. It's okay. It's not bad. I also started reading Red Rising. This one I started on October 31st, so does it really count? I don't know. There was no way I was going to be able to read this book in one day. It's actually not bad. It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but this is a dystopian society book that's like set in the future, and the setting is on Mars, and humanity has been categorized into like color-coded class systems. So the story follows Daryl, who is a red, and reds are at the lowest of the low of the class systems, and they are sent to Mars to essentially get the planet ready for the other colors to move to Mars and make it basically habitable for the other colors. And I guess the reds were told once the planet is habitable, their color is going to become like the new top color, I believe. Well, Daryl soon finds out the truth, and when he does, he sets out on a journey to basically bring down the enemy, that is the higher colors. I'm about 60-70% of the way through this book as well, so this one will definitely be finished by the end of the year. I'm gonna put this one in the will be finished by the end of the year pile. Next up, I have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I started this one in September and then I completely forgot about it. So then I picked it up again in October and I still only got to chapter 2, which is page 22. So yeah. This book follows two authors, June, who is white, and Athena, who is Asian American. And Athena has had such success with all of her books. She even has like Netflix deals and things like that. And June is not really finding much success on any of her books that she's publishing. And so one day, June witnesses Athena's death in like a freak accident, and on impulse, June steals Athena's unpublished manuscripts and then decides to publish them herself under an Asian name with like an ethnically ambiguous author photo, and she then finds success as well. And I believe the story is just about her maybe almost getting caught or whatever. I'm not really 100% sure, but it doesn't sound like a bad book. And like I said, I'm only on chapter 2 and it's not bad. I just don't really have time for it. This is another one of those like special finds from my library, so I can't put it on hold and I can't renew it. So I'm gonna put this one also in the this is probably not going to happen this year pile. If it does, that's great, but right now I'm going to do like a soft DNF. I definitely want to read this one, just not right now. So diving back into the world of Alice in Wonderland, this is Unbirthday by Liz Braswell. This is part of the Twisted Tales series, which is like a darker-ish version, like retellings of Disney stories. I believe they're kind of like what would happen if the villain actually like succeeded with their plans. And of course, this one is the Alice in Wonderland version. And if you know me, friend, you know I love Alice in Wonderland. This one is following Alice. She's now 18 and she just loves photography. She loves taking pictures, and her parents are like bothering her to like find suitors and marriage and all those kind of things, and all she wants to do is take pictures. Well, she's developing her latest photographs and she sees a couple of characters from her past, like the Mad Hatter, the Queen of Hearts, and the Caterpillar, and she even sees this like girl in her pictures that's like screaming and asking for help. So Alice has to dive back into this world of nonsense to stop the Queen of Hearts tirade on the whole Wonderland kingdom. I started this one as an audiobook and I was not feeling it. I didn't get very far, maybe like an hour or so into the book, and I really wasn't feeling it. So I decided to see if my library had a physical copy, and they did. So I picked it up and I'm gonna try to read this one. So I'm gonna start over. And I hope that by reading it, it gets a little better, because the beginning wasn't that great. But with that being said though, because I am so enjoying Heartless right now, I do want to try to dive back into the land of Wonderland, and I am going to try to read this by the end of the year. So I'm going to put this in the like hopeful pile. All right, friend. So I started reading Babel last month, and first of all, if you know, you know, it's a thick boy, okay? My fall character wants to be a dark academia girly so bad, but I just don't know if that's me. Like, I don't think I can do this. Not only is it thick, I mean, it's almost 600 pages, but it's also very dense. I'm on page 56. And like the writing is just kind of dense for one, and then for two, there's like annotations at the bottom of the pages, and I just don't know if I want that in a book. I just want to read. I just want to read the book. So I would love to be one of those people that's like, this is so great and I'm loving this, but I'm not really. Like, it's very dense and I'm only on chapter 3 after reading 56 pages, which is insane to me. But also I want to be able to finish this by the end of the year because I just heard such great things about it. I couldn't tell you exactly what it's about, but I do know we are following this orphan from Cambodia who is kind of like adopted, I guess, by this professor and brought back to England to attend Oxford and like this Royal Institute for Translation known as Babel, and I guess work there translating things, I think, or studying to be a translator. I'm not really sure. We haven't gotten that far in the book, even though we're on page 56. I'm gonna put this in the we will try to get through this book pile, but I really don't know. I don't know if this is the kind of book for me, but I'm gonna try. And lastly, I have The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. This one is actually pretty good. I am on page 82 and I'm really enjoying this so far. This follows Amina. She's a retired pirate. She has all these like scandalous stories about her and her adventures on the sea, but now she's retired. She just wants to settle down with her daughter and like fix up her house and do all those things. Well, one day the mother of one of her former crew members seeks her out and basically commissions her for one last job, and I believe this is just the story of that whole thing happening, that job happening. Although I really am enjoying this book, I'm gonna put this one in the DNF for now pile, only because I was really trying to squeeze this into the very last days of summer and I just did not have time to read this, and I'm just not in the mood to read it. It takes place on the sea in like a deserty setting. I'm just not really feeling that right now. So I'm gonna have to put this one in the we'll get back to eventually pile, but it's not probably gonna happen this year. So here are the 3 books that we will not be continuing, at least for right now. They are definitely all soft DNFs. I will be returning to these hopefully in the new year. We will get to these sometime soon. On the other hand, here are the books that we will be continuing and hopefully finishing by the end of the year, which is not too bad. There are 5 books here, and these 2 in particular, I'm almost done with. So yeah, but with that being said, we are several days into November and I have yet to finish a book, which is concerning. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, friend. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to check out all the books that I read in October, I will put that video right here, and I will see you over there. Bye!